So when we toured our home, there were a lot of things that we really loved about the place, and the things that we wanted to change, we thought would be pretty easy to change. For example, when we walked past the bathroom, it did not have a shower at all, and it just had a bathtub, and we looked at it and we were like, easy peasy, we will just add in a shower. So that brings us to part 2 of our bathroom renovation. If you haven't yet watched part 1, be sure to go over and check that out. It is pretty much everything except for the shower. The shower literally needed its own part, so hence why we are here today. And we're going to start with the new window. That was like the first thing to happen. So do you want to explain why we needed a new window?
Yeah, so we had a wooden window, which was where our shower was going to go. And instead of just deleting the window, we decided to go with a new window. So we got a vinyl window so it can withstand the water.
So we did not have a rotting window. Nobody likes a rotting window. Your uncle came over and helped install it because neither of us had any idea how to install a window, and it just was not something that we really felt we needed to hire someone for. If we had help from friends and family who knew how to do it, just put some privacy film over the top of it, which in hindsight we probably shouldn't have done before we did all of this, but it was nice to have it in there so when people were going to the bathroom, you know, the neighbors couldn't see in or anything like that. So it was nice to have it up, but it may need to be replaced now because
Eventually it might peel off at some point.
maybe. It will be covered with the shower curtain, so you won't be able to see it very well. But then we had to demo the shower. We took some time off, I believe, in between part 1 and part 2, if we want to do it in terms of that, of our bathroom renovation. So once we started demoing the shower, I had to call in my dad for some help because Max was out of town for work that week. And so he came over during the week and he helped me demo the shower area because I had no idea what
it was pretty tough
to
too.
do. There were like, you see the videos and there's like the studs evenly spaced and there's no window. It's just like an inner room and it's super simple. That was not the case. There were a lot of like supporting pieces and there was like a built-in soap holder, and then we had the window, so there were a lot of like bracing pieces.
Yeah, there was a lot going on.
And I just didn't feel comfortable doing it myself. So he came over and he actually took, it wasn't like a hammer, like a traditional hammer. It was kind of like a sledgehammer, like a pointy sledgehammer. I'll find a picture of it and put it on the screen for you to see. But he just took that and like went across in a section, and then he took a prybar and just like pried the drywall off. So that's what ended up working the best. I was just kind of there for moral support. I took the big pieces of drywall away and they're still in our garage. And then I just had to clean up some of the nails. We took out the old insulation, put in new insulation, and then we ended up writing our initials on the wood so that if anyone ever redid the project, they could see it. And we put 2023, and then we also wrote, sorry you didn't like the tile.
Yeah.
Just 'cause. Why not? After everything was demoed, we got started on the framing of the built-ins, and we ran into a snag there. So do you want to explain what we did with the built-ins? Because I thought when we were planning this project that we'd just have to put up 2 pieces of wood for the top and the bottom.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
And we'd be good to go, but then we realized we had to line it with cement board. So we couldn't really drill the cement board into the back of the drywall on the other wall. So we had to build them outside.
Yeah, we built them outside.
We had to build them outside of the shower. And that went okay, but it was a bit of problem solving and a bit of improvising. And I think like you came up with most of the ideas, like you and my dad. I literally had no idea what to do.
Yeah, we pretty much just had to frame out with 2x4s how it was gonna look, and then drilled in like 1/4-inch plywood, I think it was, to the back, and then we were able to drill the cement board to the plywood, and then I had to cut off the back of the screws with the grinder.
We did 2 built-ins. We could have just done one big one, but there was a stud going right down the middle, and we just did not feel like messing with it. And then, of course, I found videos later on how it could be a little bit easier to make a shower niche built-in situation, but it was too late at that point, and we just had to keep moving forward with our idea. And
I think the 2 look nice though.
Yeah, we really liked it too. So we're glad we did that. The situation with our wall was that we had drywall and then a layer of plaster and then another layer of like smooth something. I don't know if it was technically drywall, was it?
No, I think it was just drywall and then like a 1/4-inch of like cement on top of it.
Smooth sheet. I don't know.
Mortar.
You'll see the pictures. It was a pink wall and it was really thick, so we could really only buy like 1/2-inch or 1/4-inch cement board, and that was not the equivalent of the wall. Everyone said, you know, find something equivalent so you don't have to really work to patch it up, but we couldn't find anything like that, so we ended up going with 1/2-inch because that was like the biggest we could do. And then we just screwed that into place with cement board screws into the studs, and we had to do a little bit of like cutting out around the window and the built-ins.
Yeah.
I think it was similar to how we tiled actually. We did all like the front flat pieces and then we went back and did like the inside of the built-ins and like the inner part around the window.
Yeah.
We had to mortar over all of the screws and the corners. So we got some cement board tape and those were on all of the joints.
Yeah, I guess the joints.
I don't know what I'm talking about, but we got it done.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it was joints technically. So along where one piece of cement board meets the other piece of cement board, and there's not really a gap, but it's like that line, you would put the cement board tape over the top of it, and then you would put mortar on that and let it dry. So that's what we did before the waterproofing. I thought that was gonna be really quick because it said you could roll it on. It's kind of like painting, except for you're supposed to put it on thick. 3 hours later, it was complete. And I just did all of that myself because, I mean, it was a fairly simple project, but it took a little bit longer than I thought, and it was kind of messy. So I would recommend lining your tub if you have one and having someone on cleanup duty, because this stuff is a lot thicker than paint. It almost felt like I was rolling on glue, to be honest. So it was really like just heavy and kind of fell when you try to roll it on. So that was the only thing. But other than that, it went on pretty smooth. Next, we started tiling, and I'm actually surprised how quick we came to an agreement on our choice of tile because we were looking at Menards and we were picking out our floor tile. That was like really the first thing we picked out, I feel like, in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And we kind of went based off of that, and I've always loved the color seafoam green. And we were walking past the wall tile and the shower tile, and I was like, ooh, I really like this. And you were like, just get a piece because it's like $1 and we can just take it home, see what it looks like with the rest of it. And so that's what we did. And I think we just really didn't have a lot of hesitation about it, I don't think.
Yeah.
We both liked it, which was very surprising. But yeah, because it's more of a bold color. I mean, it's not like super in your face green. I feel like it's a timeless green.
Yeah.
But most people would probably not go with greens. That's why I say, like, I'm a little shocked. But we loved it, and we still do. So
Yeah, looks good.
we still do after like 1 week. Oh my God. And we're not tearing it out ever because it was so much work. But anyways, so once it came time to tile, we did the whole bottom row first. So we did the wall with the window, and then we did the 2 side walls first, just one long row just to make sure that we were starting off level. We bought a laser measure or laser level, and it was useless. I think we got the wrong one because it was more just for like vertical leveling. So we had seen the videos where they would have the horizontal level, but ours I don't think was really made for that.
No, it wasn't, but we made it work.
Yes. So we just had a physical, regular, old school level that we used, and it worked out great. So every couple rows we just checked to make sure that we were level. We did the whole first row, and then I think we started on the window wall.
Yep, we did.
That same day. Anything you want to say about starting on the window wall? Max was really in charge of cutting the tiles, and then I was in charge of mortaring and laying them up there.
Yeah, I don't know if there's really much to say about starting tiling. I mean, it was a bit of a process getting used to everything.
Yeah.
But once we got rolling, it was...
Yeah, we would get on a roll, that's for sure. It just like took a while. It wasn't like difficult, but it took a while. We got one of those manual tile cutters. We were gonna borrow someone's wet saw, but it just didn't make sense for someone to be running outside like every single time we needed a tile cut. So we just bought a manual one, and it worked fine, except for some of the really thin pieces, but Max cut those outside. Do you want to explain what happened when we got to the top of the wall?
Oh, yeah. The tile fit perfectly. I was thinking we were going to have to cut a little bit off the top.
Uh-huh.
But it fit perfect.
Yeah. So,
it was awesome.
the long way of the tub, I think that our tub is not like the traditional length. Like typically the tiles would have fit a little better the long way. We had to cut like a tiny sliver piece off of each one at the end. So we were kind of screwed there, but it made up for it when we got to the top because, like Max said, we had a full tile at the top. So we didn't have to cut off anything, and it didn't look weird. Yeah, it was a cool moment for sure.
It was exciting.
Yeah.
It's the little things.
It is a big thing, but yeah. If anyone wants to know, it's from Menards. It's Artisan Grove, I believe. 3 by 12 inch ceramic wall tile in the color Seafoam. And I looked online. You actually can't get it online. It's only at select stores. So check your local Menards if you're interested. I didn't realize it was like that exclusive. So we have some fancy tile.
Yeah, right.
The gap between the shower wall and our regular wall, we put the, not putty knife, but like a plaster knife, a bigger one. We kind of got it all in there, and then it was sticking out quite a bit, and so we had to sand it down. And I just used my orbital sander, and because sanding sponge, sandpaper was going to take way too long. So I started using the sander, and it was working really well. However, there was a white dust, plaster dust, everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It was so
really
bad.
It was bad.
It looked like it snowed. My hair was white, and eventually it got done, and it looks really nice and smooth now. But that was one of the things where we were constantly like making a mess in the bathroom and then having to go back and like clean up the vanity and kind of clean up the mirror. And we have a medicine cabinet in there, so the inside of that even got dirty, and then it was like all over our stuff in there. So we finally just put everything back in, and I think we're good to go now because the bathroom's finished.
Mm-hmm.
But we went back and painted by the shower. Then we had paint on the walls, and we had to come up with a way to keep the mortar off of that section and keep everything straight and nice looking. So one morning I'm just laying here in bed, and I'm like, I've got it. We're gonna put painter's tape from the top to the bottom so that you can rip one piece off and not rip the whole thing off. And that's how we're gonna do it. And it's gonna keep our line level, and it's gonna keep it off of the paint.
Yeah, it worked really good.
It actually worked really good. We ended up using a white bullnose tile for the shelf.
Yeah.
Because we thought that would, I don't know, look a little bit better We also had to pitch that part so that the water could run off, and that we were making sure that the water didn't just pool into one spot and then wreck our walls later on. Do you have anything to say about the process of that wall?
Looks good. The little built-ins kind of sucked a lot, but
Yeah, that's what I said too.
it'll be worth it.
Yes, they really will be worth it. We have a stud running right down the middle, so that's why we chose to do 2. And I think it's kind of nice, kind of unique, right? Kind of different from what most people have.
Yeah. This and hers.
Custom. Oh yeah. So I'm waiting on Max to cut the last couple pieces for the top of the window, but these are all the laid out pieces for the inner part of the window, because some of them were slightly longer, some of them were slightly shorter, and I just wanted to make sure that we had the order all squared away. So we've got it all laid out in my office. It was fairly simple, but it was messy. Really messy, especially the built-ins, because I could not get a trowel in there, so I basically just picked up the mortar with my hand.
Yeah.
And just slapped it in there, and then I used my fingers almost as a trowel. Oh my god, the grout finally just came off of my hands. Like I actually can't see any anymore. But yeah, our project clothes, I have a couple outfits now that are considered project clothes that will never be the same. And then we grouted. We are about to grout the shower. The tile is complete. We just did regular of the tile in the window. So we have our shelves on the side that have the white on the bottom, but everything else is the green tile going all the way up to the ceiling. And Max is just doing some prep work so we don't get it on our beautiful paint job. This is the grout we ended up getting. It's in color specifically for showers, and we got it in bright white. Which, this entire project, I have been underestimating the amount of time it takes to get things done. I think that something's gonna take an hour, and then it takes us literally all day. Like when we cut the floor tiles, I think I was like, oh yeah, 2-hour job. It took like 7 hours. And then like grouting, I thought was gonna take like an hour, because I grouted our floor. I was like, easy peasy. You just take the grout float and just like it's done. And that was not the case. We were up until midnight. That was a moment. I was like, do I even want to know how late it is? You're like, no. And when I finally looked at the time, it was midnight. After grouting, we did the caulking, and Max really did it all. Max did a whole bunch of caulking today, and look how good the ceiling looks. OMG. I'm sure we have a clip from before where the ceiling was like sort of torn out. We used white caulk for like the outsides, right?
Yeah, white caulk.
And how did you do it so smoothly?
I don't know if it was smoothly.
I thought it was. I was like in my office like all day, and you were working on that all day. And I came in there and I was like, oh my god. And you're like tearing it apart, like, this was not very good. And I'm like, it looks great.
Yeah. Well, the first bit I did was a little bit of a learning curve, but I guess pretty much what I did was wherever I was caulking, if there was like, so here's the tub and then the shower wall, I'd just run a piece of painter's tape along the top or the bottom of the tile, and then some on the tub, and then I'd caulk it, and then I'd get my finger damp and run it along to make like a nice smooth bead.
Okay.
And then tear the painter's tape up, and it had kept a nice straight line with the painter's tape, and less cleaning up. It took longer to put the painter's tape up, but
yeah,
it looks good. I'm happy I took my time on it.
Yeah, we also had a space on the ceiling that was like a gap between the ceiling and then the tile. We really weren't sure what we were gonna do with it. It was kind of like a we'll cross that bridge when we get there kind of thing, because we just didn't know. But Max ended up caulking the top with the white caulk, and it totally filled it in. Can't tell a difference. It looks really good.
Yeah, it does.
So yes, and then we put our fixtures up. We went with bronze fixtures because we wanted to go with bronze throughout. Our plumber friend came over. Shout out to Brett. This project would not be running so smoothly without you.
Yeah.
We really appreciate his help and all of our friends and family who had offered us advice and have actually come and physically helped us with stuff. It was really helpful to have them in our lives. But he suggested that we use clear caulk around the fixtures. We were going to use white caulk, and now looking back, now when we see what it looks like now, it would have looked awful.
Yeah, I never
with
would have
white
thought
caulk.
of using. I never would have thought of using clear, but
Yeah,
yeah, it's a good thing he suggested that because
for sure.
it looks really good.
Yes. The white looks good everywhere else, but the clear around the fixtures was definitely a good move. Then we got to do our towel rack and shelf, which was kind of like pre-caulking everything, but this was like, to me, like the cherry on top. This was like, I wanted to do this before we even demoed the shower, and Max was like, no, I think we should wait. And I was like, oh, I just want to get something done. Like, there was a lot of like hurry up and wait, I feel like, throughout the project, because we had to wait for dry time and we had to wait for other things to happen. So it was kind of something that I just wanted to do right away, but I was like, no, you are making sense.
No.
We should wait.
No.
So we waited until that wall of tile was up, and then we got a start on it. So we ended up getting 2 pieces of trim. I kind of got this idea from Pinterest. I don't even remember like why I was looking that up. I think because I really wanted to do the board and batten in our bathroom, which we decided against because we had basically a full renovation to do. So we were like, that's just excessive. Maybe we'll do it someday. So this was like the cheater version of board and batten, and it was just a way that we could have something that looked kind of built in and custom without actually doing the entire bathroom board and batten. And then this is all dry, so we're putting hooks on it right now, putting them 11.5 inches apart, so hopefully that's enough for multiple towels. We put construction adhesive on the back, which ours was like dried out, so that was a pain in the booty.
Yeah.
Max had to basically just like squeeze it out, and we like cut a big chunk of the top off to get it out, because I'm pretty sure that the glue dried underneath, so when we put it into the caulk gun, it was not actually coming out at all.
Yeah, I had to like squeeze it out with a channel locks.
So, but it came out eventually. We had a little malfunction with the nail gun where it stopped shooting nails, but Max got it figured out.
I figured it out.
We always figure everything out, even though we run into like a few hurdles that I feel like haven't always been shown on camera in this project, but it got done. So just so you know, I think we've easily put in like over 100 hours on this project.
I don't even want to know.
I kind of wish we had kept track, but I kind of don't. There was one week, like a week or two ago, where we were finishing everything up, and we definitely put like 20 hours into the bathroom that week. So it is not as easy as a 20 or 30 minute YouTube video, but it is worth it.
Yeah.
So I just went on a total tangent, but we got the 2 pieces of trim up, and then we caulked the seams, and that was paintable caulk. So we went over with white enamel paint, which was like a shiny finish. And then once that was dry, we were able to put on the hooks, which we just got from Target. Then once we got our hooks up, we put some artwork up from Home Goods. Update on the bathroom. We have some artwork in here, and we finished up our shelf that is going to also hold the towels. I guess it's like kind of a shelf. I thought that the pictures would rest on this, but it just made more sense to hang them up. So they are hung up. I wish I could get a more wide angle of this. I'll take one with my phone. But we're taking this back. We literally almost hung this up in here. got it from Home Goods and it was really cute, and my friend Kelsey said I should get it. I was like, you're right, I could always just take it back if it doesn't look good in here. But if you put it like up here, it's like way too big, and it's just like, it's really tall too. It just, yeah, wasn't gonna look good. So I got this set from Home Goods instead. And then our plumber came over and helped us with the tub spout because we needed to like adapt it. Like, I'll show you on the old one. But this one looked like this. This is the one that came in the set, but we wanted bronze hardware, so that one was just like a slip-on one. So he had to adjust it so that it could actually fit on, but Max did the rest of the fixtures and the caulking. I think I did take a video of the caulking, but now we just have to caulk around all the fixtures to make sure they are watertight. And to clean up in here, there's just like kind of some messiness going on, but it's seriously almost done. I mean, there's literally just the caulking to do, and then we have to put up the shower curtain and decorate, and I am so excited. I don't know why I'm still holding this, but I will take videos when there is a final reveal. And we called it a day with that project. I guess now we are going to show you some clips of the finished product and some before and afters.
Yep.
All right, well, thank you for watching our part 1 and part 2 of our bathroom renovation. We are super proud of it and super excited to share it with you.
Yeah.
And we would really appreciate if you liked this video, if you could give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to see some more. We will definitely have more home projects in the future. We will be taking a big break from like massive projects, but I'm sure that we will have more home content to come, so stay tuned. Okay, thank you for watching.